You listened to him on the KVJ show for years. Every time he tried to talk sports, he'd get shut down. After years of begging, we finally gave in. Brought to you by Bremen Motor Cars and by Wellington Anti-Aging. It's Kevin's Other Show on 640 The Hurricane.
Yeah, what's up? Welcome to the show today. Got a ton of good stuff to get to. Going to be talking a little bit of football. It's always good.
Why not?
Maybe one of the best beer promotions of all time. And it revolves around football, so beer and football, it's pretty good. Why the Marlins aren't going to be good anytime soon.
Okay. Convince me, Kev. Convince me.
And a possible trade for Hassan Whiteside. Is he out of Miami? So we got a lot of things to cover here today.
Yeah.
Miami Dolphins, they got another preseason scrimmage. It's going to be Thursday night. They go again?
You know what? I thought it was Thursday, too, and I actually heard earlier today that it's Friday.
Okay.
I could have sworn it was
Thursday. I can
Thursday.
never keep track of when they play these games, when they're going to be doing it. This one is away.
Right, at Carolina.
Okay. So they're not here. What are you going to see? There's some injuries that are going around right now. We've been talking about Devontae Parker struggling. He's got a broken middle finger.
Yeah, it's not going to help him in his make-or-break third year this season to have a broken finger before the, second preseason game coming up. So, another bad start for Devontae Parker. Great.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Running back, Kalen Ballage, he's been struggling a bit. Now he's in concussion protocol along with tight end Marquise Gray. So, they say Gesicki's probably going to get more reps because of that.
I'm looking forward to seeing this guy really in action. Because I believe it was either Osweiler or Fales who threw the pass to Gesicki in the end zone, and it was just way too far out there. But the amount of reach that he had.
He is unbelievable, man.
It was incredible. I'm like, this dude almost caught a ball that no one should have even been close to. So I'm looking forward to seeing him in real game action.
He is going to. I think he's going to be sick. I think he's going to be a great talent.
Yeah,
I really do. When he gets going, and if he can get in games, if he doesn't whiff on blocks, I think he's going to be good. So you're going to probably see a little bit more of him.
Gesicki, that's my boy.
Yeah. And when it comes to the running back position, man, I'm hearing some really good things still about what is going on here with Frank Gore. Tannehill, I mean, they're raving about how much he's still got left in the tank. He said, man, we're just sitting there watching him on film and saying the cuts, the anticipation, what he's doing. He's one of a kind. That's still, he's not just in there to be, an old-ass Yoda that's, going to do nothing.
Right.
And sit back and cheer. Yeah, I mean, he might be a viable back.
This guy, man, he's one of the more underrated future Hall of Famers I think I've ever seen. Because you look at his numbers, he's going to the Hall of Fame.
Sure.
His rushing yards are right up there with Jerome Bettis and Barry Sanders. I mean, it's ridiculous. And you never think about Frank Gore that way. But that's where he's at.
He might get some good carries. I mean, I don't think his numbers are going to probably blow you away this year, but he might be out there and be like, okay, he's had some big carries.
No, it wouldn't shock me at all because look, the number one back is Kenyon Drake. Now, I know he's supposed to have a decent year, Kenyon Drake, and, build off of what he did last year at the end of the season. But are we really going to sit here and say that Frank Gore can't get any playing time against Kenyon Drake? I mean...
Well, I don't think they're really running Gore right now because I think they're trying to save him as much. And it sounds like Ballage, at least until this possible concussion, was getting a lot of reps, even with the... first string.
He was, and he played in that first game, and what wasn't good for Ballage was his fumble in that first game against Tampa Bay. They were actually driving, the Dolphins were, and just essentially threw the ball away. I don't know what he was doing on that play. Ballage, man, he's got to get it together. One day he's got Tannehill screaming in his face, and now he's got a concussion. I don't know.
Yeah. Well, what did you like? It was kind of interesting because I was looking at, when you talk about quarterbacks taking the lead of a team, and the other day Ryan Tannehill was, exerting his control.
Yes.
Kalen Ballage whiffs on this block, and Tannehill would have gotten creamed if it was a regular game. And so Ballage tries to come back to the huddle, and Tannehill kicks him out. It's like, nah, get out of here. That's how he manages it. I'm like going, okay, that's kind of impressive. That's kind of a big dog move.
Yeah.
That's like, don't play. But then did you hear what Tom Brady did? They're doing 11-on-11 drills, and he's apparently really frustrated. His receivers just suck.
He took it a step further than what Tannehill did.
So he has one of his receivers drop a ball, and he's like, give me the ball. Give me the ball. Takes it and punts it into the stands. And I'm like, okay, that's kind of more impressive.
Yeah.
I'm like, yeah, Tannehill kicks a guy out of the huddle, but I mean, Tom Brady takes the ball and punts it into the stands.
Once again, Tom Brady outdoes Tannehill.
That's how you like show, okay, this is Super Bowl caliber. We jack it into the stands.
Right.
You're Ryan Tannehill. You kick a guy out of the huddle. It's a pretty impressive move.
I love it. Even with that, Tannehill's got to be like, oh, man, come on, Tom. Like,
Yeah.
You got to beat me in that, too.
Big dog move.
It is.
It's power play.
No, it's well done.
Power play.
Imagine being that fan, too. Imagine the scrum in the stands at Patriots practice of people watching and trying to
pretty
get that
awesome.
ball that Tom Brady punted.
But I'm sure it wasn't pretty. He has to be the most awkward kicker.
Oh, absolutely. Right?
I
He has
couldn't
to be.
imagine like Tom Brady like busting off a smooth punt.
It's hard to imagine. He looks
It's got to look like the Tin Man.
Yes.
Just like trying to like let one loose.
It looks like it would be very uncoordinated and probably like just a wounded duck floating in the air like 20 yards. That's how I imagine it. But then again, it is Tom Brady. So maybe it's a perfect 60-yard spiral punt.
Probably. Who knows?
There's also that.
Kenyon Drake got into a fight. They had 4 different fights during practice yesterday for the
Jeez.
Dolphins. Yeah. They're about done with training camp, and I don't know what was going on. They were just hot, pissed, whatever was going on. He got sucker punched by this dude, Gabe Wright,
Okay.
who's just some kind of like regular back of the roster defensive tackle. And this is a concern of Adam Gase because Kenyon Drake, if you remember the final regular season game last year in Buffalo, he got into that fight then.
Oh, okay. Okay.
And same kind of thing is like Gase pulled him aside. He's like, dude, I got a problem with this. He's like, yeah, I love the fact that and he's defending other teammates. That's fantastic. He said, but you are our go-to guy. You're the man now. Kenyon Drake, 1, he gets sucker punched in the face. He could get hurt out of the game. 2, he gets kicked out of the game. Either way, he's not available to take any carries. So you got old-ass Gore you're handing the ball to, or Kalen Ballage, who's a rookie, do you feel comfortable yet giving him the bulk of the carries?
Right.
So that's kind of an issue. So apparently he got his ass chewed a little bit for that move. But that dude, Gabe Wright, guy who sucker punched Kenyon Drake, they just cut his ass.
Oh, he's gone.
Gone.
Not fooling around there.
They didn't fool around. They're just like, dude, pack up. You're out.
Oh, dude, why are you punching the starting running back in the face? He's not wearing a helmet. He actually clocked him.
I think that's kind of the message that they're sending. They're just like, okay,
What are you doing?
yeah, dude, come on, man. You can't be doing this.
No, it's your team, and I understand you want to be competitive. Things get kind of fiery, and you get a little heated here and there. But you got to punch the dude in the face.
You got to know your spot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Come on, you go ahead and push him.
Where you make it
in the
easy
middle.
for them. I mean, cuts are common, right? I mean, they do cuts after game 2.
I believe there's 2 rounds of cuts,
Okay.
and the first
They got to
round,
be coming.
Yes.
So they make it real easy.
Now they don't have to worry about one's gone. They already
Yeah.
got it, so
Yeah.
that's fine.
Yeah, don't be punching, man. If you're like back end roster defensive tackle guy, yeah, don't be punching the starting running back.
It's 2 or 3 rounds of cuts. I'm trying to remember. Mm-hmm. But yeah, you're right. They're coming.
It's
now
coming.
Hey, you got one out of the way. Come on, punching the starting. What are you doing? Come on, man.
Gotta say, this is a pretty genius promotion that Bud Light's got going on in Cleveland.
Oh, you saw this?
I think it's a good move. It's like, I'm like, okay, it's pretty smart. There's 10 Cleveland area bars that are going to have these Bud Light Victory fridges. And the concept is these fridges are going to be stacked with up to 300 cold 16-ounce Bud Lights.
Sounds good.
Now, somehow they've been able to do this, and they got the technology where it's one of those electromagnetic locks that they've got on the fridge.
Yes, I've seen those before.
And what they're going to do in these 10 different coolers at the area bars is the second that the Cleveland Browns officially win their first regular season game, apparently the magnetic locks come off, and then the bartenders start handing out free Bud Lights to anybody who wants one.
I just want to be there to see how this actually turns out. Because there's one thing in my mind. Mm-hmm. First of all, the promotion is great. I mean, I think it's a great idea. I love it. People are going to be there celebrating a win. Like, if they just won the Super Bowl, they'll probably be spraying the beer because it's free, so why not? And it's Bud Light.
And it's more fun to,
So-
who wants to drink Bud Light?
Exactly. So you
I
might
don't want
as
to
well
drink it. I'm going to spray it.
Yeah, spray it.
That's what I would do with it. Yeah, if it treated like champagne.
That's correct.
Yeah.
Pour it on your head, your friend's head, whatever.
Right.
But what if this happens? So the locks are magnetic locks. Mm-hmm. They are, and I know how these work actually because Disney World, I'm kind of a Disney guy. They have the same thing on some of
I
their...
have a feeling they don't have beer fridges at Disney.
No, they don't. But they have this station where you can buy these battery packs.
Okay.
But it works through Wi-Fi. And if the internet goes down, all of a sudden this thing doesn't work. So what happens if the Browns win? And in Browns fashion, the internet goes down.
If they don't work. Because, I mean, the one thing I know about Cleveland, been there a couple times, one thing I know about Cleveland, being from Ohio, they drink like crazy.
Sure.
I mean, there's not really a lot to do.
I was going to say, what else can you do? Yeah.
I mean, you've got the Browns that haven't won a game in how long? They've won one game in 2 seasons. So you're accustomed to, that's what you do. You drink your face off during Browns games. So you know this is going on. I mean, they're making such a big deal out of this Bud Light promotion. If anything goes wrong with this,
yes,
you're going to have drunk Browns fans rioting and destroying 10 different bars in Cleveland.
That's correct. They'll be breaking the glass to get to the beer.
To try to get one stupid Bud Light. And then how do they hand it out fast enough? Yeah, you're right. I see this in concept. It seems genius.
Right.
But I think in practicality,
it's going to be a disaster.
It's going to be a complete disaster.
Yes.
You're going to have 300 beers coming out of one fridge. How quickly can you hand out 300 beers?
Yes, and the caveat to this, too, is that
it's going to take forever.
It's going to take a while.
People are going to be crowding the bar.
Yes.
They're going to be drunk because it's not going to tick down till the end of the game.
Right.
They're going to be hammered, pushing and shoving. Then they're going to be taking their first drink of the Bud Light and be like going, then they're angry and who knows what's going on. Oh, this is going to be awful.
It's going to be terrible.
Yeah. It seems great. And then when I first read it, I'm like, it's pretty genius. I don't know. Practicality might be the worst thing ever.
Someone's going to get hurt or the internet's going to go out in Browns fashion.
Yeah.
Even though they win the game, the beer promotion cannot go on because they lose internet connection. The fridges won't open. I can see it now. Something's going to go wrong with this.
Well, and the question I got here is, how long is it going to take before you're going to see a win? The Browns start off against the Steelers.
Nope.
Week 1? No. They got the Saints in week 2.
Nope.
You got the Jets in week 3.
At Cleveland?
It is at Cleveland.
Okay, that's a possibility.
Week 3. Okay, you got the Raiders, week 4.
Probably not.
Ravens.
No.
Chargers.
No.
Buccaneers.
No.
Steelers.
No. Again, no. Big no.
Chiefs.
If that one's in Cleveland, that could be a sneaky one.
That's in Cleveland, yeah.
That could be one right there. Chiefs coming across to Cleveland. That could be a sneaky one. What was that, week 8?
So we're going a while. Actually, their easiest looking game is probably going to be the Jets. So that's what you're looking at.
Early on. They might be able to get that one at home.
Okay, so maybe week 3, Cleveland, you get your beer.
Yep. Otherwise, you got to wait about another month and a half, it sounds like.
Okay. Coming up here in just a couple minutes, the Marlins had a really awful day yesterday. Really bad. But like we said, hey, yesterday on the show, Derek Jeter saying, man, I like the way things are going. They're going according to the master plan. We don't know what the master plan is, but they apparently plan on winning soon. I'm going to tell you as we break it down in just a second why that's not going to happen. And the Marlins are not going to win anytime soon. The whole breakdown next.
Yep, he's here too. It's Kevin's Other Show, right here on 640 The Hurricane.
I mean, it doesn't get much worse than what happened to the Miami Marlins yesterday in Atlanta, taking on the Braves. I mean, you got a lot of great things to say about the Braves. I mean, they've got to be feeling awesome.
Yeah, they look good. How about them Braves, huh?
I mean, they look fantastic. 2 games in a doubleheader. In the first game, they win 9-1. Game 2, they win 6-1. 15-2, the total score in 2 games. 15-2 in 2 games. I mean, it's unbelievable. They've got this Touki Toussaint.
Yeah, that's my guy, man. That's my new favorite name in sports.
It's pretty awesome.
Yeah.
Pembroke Pines guy, you said?
Yeah, from Pembroke Pines. Young, 22 years old.
Young. That's going to be a theme here in just a second. Young, 22 years old. Pitching a great game in Game 2 and that 6-1 win. Here's what Touki had to say.
Honestly, it was surreal going out there, but, I was just trying to go out there and compete. No expectations and give a team a chance to win.
Gosh, there's so many good South Florida baseball players playing on other teams.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
So many on so many other teams. And that, looking at his age, young pitcher, and he wasn't even the young star for the Braves yesterday.
It's amazing what they've been able to do with their farm system.
Yeah.
What they've been able to do.
This Ronald Acuna Jr., if you didn't hear what happened, you aren't paying attention to the Marlins. What he did yesterday is pretty amazing. He came out the rookie, homered to lead off Game 1, comes out game 2, leads off again with a home run. I mean, that's pretty impressive.
That sounds pretty unbelievable.
That's only the 4th player in baseball history to hit a pair of leadoff homers in a doubleheader.
That's why it sounds unbelievable then.
It's pretty unreal. And he's hot, too. I mean, this is his, 4th straight game with a home run?
Yeah, no, he's been doing well again. This is another one of those young guys you never really heard of, but the Braves have been able to find the right talent and develop it.
Youngest player since 1920 to do that.
Jeez.
So, I mean, they've put together a really great stable of young players. They're 1 game up on the Phillies in the NL East. And keep in mind, I just remember a couple years ago, it was the Braves and the Marlins battling for last place in the NL East.
True.
And here, the Braves have totally, completely turned it around. They've got rookies, young pitchers all over the place. I started really kind of like taking a look to see what they had in their roster because, I'm sitting here thinking, okay, well, I mean, here it is. If you're the Marlins, you're looking to what the Braves are doing and saying, in just a couple years, that's going to be us, and we're going to be chasing the Braves, a young team. It's not going to happen. And here's why. When I started looking at the age of the Braves player, the ages they have, they're already reaching maturity. They're in first place right now. The Braves middle infielders are no older. They're 20 and 21 years old.
Gosh, they're kids.
20 and 21 years old.
Are you serious?
Freddie Freeman, the first baseman, is the oldest infielder the Braves have. He's 28. Their third baseman's 24.
He's ancient. Jeez.
I mean, you're talking about Tukey.
Tukey, 22.
22. You look up and down their roster, and they are early 20s.
Man.
And you start looking at what the Marlins are building with to the future, and already the Marlins are not as good, and they're older than the Braves already, who are already in first place.
So what you're telling me, Kev, is that Derek Jeter is not doing a good job?
Well, I'm just telling you, if you're trying,
you have to convince me of that.
If you're trying to still believe in the Marlins and saying, okay, what the Braves are now is what the Marlins are going to be in 2 to maybe 3 years. We're hoping that they're going to do what the Astros did. This is that rebuild.
Right.
The Braves are doing it successfully now. It's not going to happen. You're probably talking 10 years at least before the Marlins get anything decent that you're going to want to see on the field, before you're going to say the Marlins are in first place. You start breaking down the ages of what the Marlins have. They're talking about, hey, they're still going to hold on to JT Realmuto. He's maybe the guy that they're going to build around. He's 27.
So he's as old, almost as old as the Braves' oldest player.
Yeah.
And you're talking about this probably one of their younger guys.
The Braves are only going to get better and mature, but they're still going to stay younger. The rookie that the Marlins are all hot about is Brian Anderson. He's already 25.
Man.
He's already 25. He's already older than 3 of your 4 infielders for the Braves. The Marlins are already older than the Braves, who are already in first place. JT Riddle's 26, Caleb Smith 27, Trevor Richards 25, Jose Urena 26.
Oh, that dude. Jeez.
The Marlins are already older. Now, a lot of those guys, you could say, well, they're going to trade and they're, reworking the farm system. I mean, you're really going to have to do that. Realmuto is already 27. So if you're building around him, how many years is Realmuto going to be? 33, 34? When do you expect this whole experiment to happen? Who are you going to get? I don't know. When I started looking at the ages, I'm like going, okay, well, why is this going to change?
Yeah.
Why am I going to believe in a Marlins success story in 2 to 3 years when these Braves players that right now have them in first place are going to be all of 24, 25, 26?
I mean,
So do you believe in Derek Jeter now? He's going to have to pull off some wizardry moves, and it's got to be guys that are right now in Double-A that are going to be what's going to get the Marlins there in 2 to 3 years. And, hey, maybe it's premature, but you're looking at a team that you're going to have to get through the Braves if you're the Marlins.
at this point, that's the way it looks. I mean, if the Braves can keep all these guys together
and you're looking at this Acuna, their rookie, who's 20, who went 5 for 8, 2 home runs, 5 RBIs, 5 runs, 2 walks, and a stolen base in 2 games yesterday.
That's in the doubleheader. Some guys would be happy with that in a season. You know, like just to have a few games and get those stats in like a week.
Yeah, so that's just the only thing. When I started looking at that, I'm like, that's tough. that's challenging. If you were buying into it, I'm like, look, I'm going to give Jeter the benefit of the doubt. He's in year one. But I was like, wow, I thought the Marlins were younger than that.
Yeah, it is a little startling.
And when I see what the Braves have, that's going to be troubling unless they somehow move the Braves to the AL. And I don't see that happening.
I don't see that happening either. No.
Yeah, that's about the only way.
That would be it. I will say this, though, in defense, which I never do.
Okay.
But just to play devil's advocate here.
Okay.
In defense of Jeter and the organization.
Yeah, make it feel better.
Maybe. I'm going to try to make some people feel better.
Save it, Diener. Save it, baby.
I'm going to try. Maybe, just maybe, this is what we're seeing right now on paper when it comes to the Marlins, right? So that's fair. Everything you said is absolutely correct. Those are the guys. Those are the ages. But maybe next year or 2 years from now, you've seen all these, maybe they are like the Braves. You have all these 21, 22-year-olds. You're like, oh, now here's the
But the two guys I've heard they're building around for the future, Brian Anderson and JT Realmuto, two guys that are 25 and 27. And just running down the Braves' ages, that's when I started looking. I'm like going, crap, man. I mean, the guys that the Marlins are looking to build around are 25 and 27. They're already 5 to 6 years older than the meat of the Braves' roster right now.
Look, I'm trying my best.
No,
man.
I hear what you're saying, but that's why when I saw that, I'm like going, what makes me think right now as a Marlins fan that this is going to be another Astros story, that the Marlins are going to do what the Braves have just done? I'm not that confident now after seeing that. Now, who knows what they could bring in through, the farm system, and hey, we may see in 2 years that Jeter's pulled off some magical moves, and
possible.
There's 2 to 3 players that are down in the farm system right now that we don't know of. Maybe we've got our own Acuna down there that's ready to come up.
Maybe. That's all I'm saying.
In 2 years, but I don't know.
Grasping at straws is
grasping at straws.
That's fine.
That's how I feel.
That's what we have to do.
Coming up here in a couple minutes, we talked about the desperation of the Miami Heat. Some people say that they had the worst off-season in the NBA.
Ooh.
You talk about the Hassan Whiteside contract, the way that he wrapped up the season, his level of play, and could you possibly move him? Well, there is a trade rumor for Hassan Whiteside that is floating around. Does it make sense, and would it be good for the Heat? We'll discuss next.
Be part of the show on Twitter at 640 The Hurricane, #Kevin's Other Show.
Well, we kind of broke it down saying, all right, how could the Heat possibly get rid of Hassan Whiteside? Contracts you don't really seem to like based on what you're getting out of the guy.
We were trying to think of any way possible to make this happen.
Now, there's a rumor that is floating around right now. I don't know that there's any kind of validity to it, but it would be a trade with the Cleveland Cavaliers where the Heat would get Tristan Thompson and Kyle Korver for Hassan Whiteside.
So basically you're telling me the only way they can get rid of Hassan Whiteside in that terrible contract is to get a terrible trade. That's what you're telling me. Because that's awful. That is horrendous. Why in the world, as a Heat fan, I'm going to speak for all Heat fans right now. Even if they disagree with me, I'm speaking for all of you.
Yep.
I don't want Tristan Thompson. What are you kidding me? Mr. Kardashian? Get this guy out of here. Kyle Korver, you might as well bring back Jason Capono from the 06 championship team. Like, what are we doing? The dude is like a year or two away from retirement. Are you, what? So, yes, the only way we get rid of him is a bad trade. Come on, Riley. Riley, don't do it, man. You got to get something better than this. No.
If you're a Heat fan, this may be the only benefit of this trade is money.
Ugh.
Thompson's at $15 million next season. Whiteside is due $22. So you'll save $7 million on the trade, but you think it's a major downgrade.
Oh, yeah. Huge. Well, listen, it's not like Hassan Whiteside is, the best center in the league, okay? He had that great first year. We all know the story. Last year, he was a bum. And you're hoping this year he can kind of get back into form. It's just that we don't know where he's at in his own head. Can he get out of his own way? That's the question with his own maturity issues. But it's Tristan Thompson is like the same thing. He's the same guy.
So you're not liking this deal at all?
No. He's the same guy with the same head case issues, the same type of play. He's a little bit more stout than Hassan Whiteside. Mm-hmm. I mean, if you want to look at body type, then yeah, sure. He's a little bit, stout, bigger. Hassan is a little bit taller and lankier. But that's it.
Okay.
And then you have Kyle Korver coming off the bench for what? For what?
15 mil, baby.
That's all it's going to come down to is they're trying to
15
find.
mil. Yeah, that's why I was like, wow, 15 million on Korver next 2 seasons.
Gosh.
There's also possible talk that the Heat might move James Johnson, Tyler Johnson, Dion Waiters to the Cavs.
Okay.
That could be another option.
That one I'm a little bit more okay with. I would like for them to keep Dion Waiters.
Okay.
I think he's a decent piece. I mean, he's a little bit more advanced in his career, but he's a decent piece they can build around for the next few years. Tyler Johnson, though, this guy's making way too much money and coming up. He was coming off the bench last year, and his contract is insane.
What do you think of the worst contracts, 2 worst contracts that he have? Hassan Whiteside, is that the worst contract that they're sitting on right now? Paying the most money for the least production?
I'm going to say Tyler Johnson, actually.
Oh, really?
Yeah, because at least with Hassan Whiteside, I can understand why they did that. I mean, yes, it was $100 million for that guy. Mm-hmm. But with Tyler Johnson, they should have let him go when the Nets were offering that contract. This is a guy, he signed a 4-year, $50 million contract with the Miami Heat. Tyler Johnson is getting $50 million over 4 years. So that one.
So you love that as a Heat fan, but then what's the incentive for the Cavs? What are they getting out of that?
I mean, I don't know. If you're the Cavs, I don't even know why they would make this trade.
Yeah.
Like, why are you taking on this money? Why are you taking on bad contracts?
And that's why this is a rumor that's probably not going to happen.
Yeah.
See the Heat with the same roster next year.
Now, on that, yeah, probably. Most likely. On that end, when it comes to Pat Riley, why Pat Riley would be doing this, maybe he feels like he's getting one over on the Cavs. He's fleecing them, saying, here, take my bad contracts away.
Yeah.
But you're not going to get that much greatness in return from the Cavs right now. Who do the Cavs have? It's Korver and Tristan Thompson.
The only thing that you think is maybe in desperation, maybe somewhere along the line, the Cavs make a bad trade.
Yeah.
Just trying to do something to make up for losing LeBron.
It's tough, man. You want to get rid of the bad contracts, but at what cost?
Mm-hmm. Well, there is...
Oh. I like
a
this.
list that is out. What are the most annoying college sports traditions?
I was going to say, this sounds like college football here.
Oh, it is, baby. We've
I
got to
love
work
it.
in some college football, man. We're
Yes.
getting close.
I love it.
We're getting there. Well, there's this list by ESPN, and they said at number 20, the Florida State Tomahawk Chop is the most annoying college sports tradition.
Already, I disagree with this list. 20?
Number 20.
This is the most... And yes, okay, look. If you listen to the show, you know I'm a Hurricane fan, and pretty much just about every day I wear a Miami Hurricane hat.
Right.
This is number 1 for me. Not because I'm a Hurricane fan, but because it's just so super annoying. It's just annoying.
You think it should be higher than 20?
Yeah. I wouldn't say number 1. Because as a Hurricane fan and going to these games, it does have a little bit of significance. Just my opinion. When you hear it, it brings back a lot of emotion of being at that game, being in that moment. So I want to put it number 1, but it's definitely top 3.
Okay. One I find kind of jarring
Okay.
is the cowbells at Mississippi State. You just watch a game and it's just nonstop.
That is annoying.
I mean,
Yeah.
I mean, it's annoying to watch the Tomahawk Chop, and if you're not a Knowles fan, it's really annoying when they're doing something great, and that's what. But to me, you've got to put on the same level, and they don't have it in the top 20. If you're going to put the Tomahawk Chop, you got to put the Gator Chop at the same level, right?
Sure.
Because, I mean, too, if you're not a fan of either one of those schools, if they're doing well, seeing either one is equally annoying. I mean, if you put the Tomahawk Chop versus the Gator Chop, they're the same thing, basically, right? I mean, almost the same movements.
I think what it is with I like this idea of this list, by the way. I think what might be different here is with the Tomahawk Chop, you got the noise with it and the music, you got the warrior drums going.
Yeah.
And the Gator Chop is more of just, you clasping the hands together, and it's more of like a taunting thing, after they score a touchdown or if a Gator fan comes up to you and does it.
But that's why it's more annoying,
Yeah.
right? Because it's more taunting. You see that when somebody comes up and does that like in your face,
It is super
it's
annoying.
a taunting move. So it's got to
Yeah.
be more, sorry, Gator fans, but that's got to be more annoying than the Tomahawk Chop.
Now, I'll be fair here. Where does the U signal rank when us Canes fans put up the U? Is that annoying? Is that annoying to people?
It is when they're doing well and they're beating you. Absolutely, it's annoying.
Okay.
But I think the thing about the U is it's quick.
Yes.
You throw it up really fast. It's something about the Tomahawk Chop and the Gator Chomp. that they keep going. And that's what's annoying. It's like, stop it already. Like the U goes up pretty quick, and okay, we get it.
We just flash it. Yeah.
You're annoyed for a second, but it's the ongoing repetition
So
of just
annoying.
like, just put your damn hands down.
You know what? I changed my mind. Tomahawk chop. The tomahawk chop goes to number 1.
Tomahawk chop's
I
number
put it
1
back
of
at
the
number 1.
3?
Yes.
And I'm sitting on the outside looking in.
Oh, I know, yeah.
And I would say the gator chomp is number 1.
Okay.
Because it's more of a taunting thing. I would say that the Knowles 2, and then I give the Canes 3. But outside programs, yeah, that damn cowbell thing that they got at Mississippi State, they only put it 6 on their list, and I think that's completely wrong. Oregon, they've got the duck noisemakers at number 8.
Those are pretty annoying.
Those are really annoying.
Yeah.
There's one they don't even list. I would put in there. Penn State has got this like lion roar.
Oh, the lion roar. Yeah.
That they that's so annoying.
It sounds like Panther games.
Oh my gosh, I hate that. That's so annoying.
Right, I forgot about that.
They've also got the turkey gobbling for Virginia Tech.
Oh yeah, the hokey.
Yeah,
Sure.
any kind of like noise like that has got to be pretty annoying. And this I get, even though I'm a Buckeye fan, the whole OH.
Okay,
IO. If you're walking
Yeah.
around, you're like, okay, I get it.
I could see that.
Yeah, that's awesome. You guys can spell a 4-letter word, the state that you're from.
You do it well.
I get it.
What do they have as number 1 on this list? What
They've
was
got
their
it
thing?
number 1. They've got Rammer Jammer from Alabama. It's what
Really?
they play when Alabama wins. This is why this list
that's
is
no big
crap.
deal.
They totally blew it on this list.
Why? Because Alabama always wins. I mean, it's not that big a deal.
Yeah. Well, they say we just beat the hell out of you, and that's annoying.
Yeah,
But yeah,
whatever.
they blew this list. They obviously hate the SEC too because they got Rolling Tumors corner at number 2 for most annoying college sports tradition. Rocky Top at number 3.
I love Rocky Top.
Yeah, they just go that. Yeah, I mean,
Come on.
You got SEC schools at 1, 2, 3. I don't know. Somebody maybe from the Big Ten wrote this.
Seems like it.
But
Seems
yeah,
like
I mean
it.
that's it. I think we identified the other ones that
I think so.
are pretty annoying. And they also put Boise State Smurf Turf at number 10. Do you love it or hate the Smurf Turf, the blue field?
No, that's their thing, man. I'm all for it. I'm all for it.
Doesn't it just like almost make you feel like you're going to have a seizure when you're watching it live?
Oh, yeah, it hurts the eyes. Don't get me wrong. I mean, yeah, I'm rubbing my eyes halfway through watching a Boise State game, but that's their thing.
Mm-hmm.
I'm good with it.
Coming up, something else that annoyed sports fans. If you watch the Yankees-Mets game on TV on ESPN, you might get what we're talking about. Why did people hate watching that game last night? We'll give you the rundown next.
Get Kevin's other show whenever the hell you want on YouTube and at 640thehurricane.com.
So what are your feelings about Keith Olbermann?
You don't want to know.
He's been around. When I was a kid, he was on ESPN. He's done, what, MSNBC?
Yeah.
And now he's even back to doing a little bit of ESPN again. He signed on to host 20 editions of the 11 o'clock Sports Center. He's going to be popping into some studio shows and even doing some play-by-play. And last night, if you're watching a makeup game between the Yankees and the Mets, you heard Keith Olbermann doing the play-by-play. And apparently it was god-awful, not well received.
Tragic. I'll use the word tragic for this. Might be a little strong, but I'm going with it.
Because of moments like this.
See a magnificent play on the field, and then you have to sit around and wonder whether or not it was a mirage. Plus, the perfect sight of the umpires on the headsets listening to Muzak somewhere or somebody saying, "Thank you for calling the replay center. Your call will be answered in the order in which it was received. You are number 32 in the queue."
Gosh.
So what's he doing? He's doing like a monologue? Is this what Olbermann's doing?
I think maybe
Doing some comedy?
Yeah, I think he felt like he was back on MSNBC or something, and he's the only one there talking. Meanwhile, he's got Tim Kirkjian in the booth next to him. You're doing a baseball game, Keith Olbermann. Shut your mouth and talk about baseball. What are you doing?
You thought it was annoying.
Yes.
Some
yes.
of the Twitter comments last night from Olbermann calling the Yankees-Mets game. One person put that ESPN thinks Keith Olbermann is a good idea. Tells you everything you need to know about ESPN.
Well said.
Someone else tweeted out the dead silence in this Mets-Yanks telecast on ESPN is painful. When the player being interviewed has to basically ask if he's still on, something's amiss.
That was so bad. That was so awkward. They had Jacob deGrom kind of being like a guest analyst, Which I don't know why they're doing this. It's not like it was the All-Star game. Why are you putting all these gimmicks in this game on Sunday night with Keith Olbermann in there and you're interviewing Jacob deGrom? I understand if it's actually going to be a good interview.
Yeah.
But it was awkward.
I've seen ESPN do this play a little bit, and sometimes it does work. It depends upon the dynamic.
I mean, it's Yankees-Mets. It's not like it needs any more hype. I mean, they're going to get people watching it. You know what I mean?
Right.
It's you're not having the White Sox play the Marlins like.
So this is after DeGrom had already pitched.
Right.
Okay, so he has a great game. He strikes out 12. They put
Yeah.
the headset on him. Mm-hmm. He's on there with Keith Olbermann, and apparently the dynamic is a little awkward.
1-on-1 and 1-on-1 on Gregorius now with the 2 outs, and Gardner still at second.
And who's somebody talking? Nope.
Am I still being an analyst right now?
You're still being an analyst. Anytime you want to break it down, go for it.
We're letting it breathe.
1-1, another change up.
We're letting it breathe. And but I want to correct myself. That might have been Noah Syndergaard. So I might be wrong on the DeGrom. I'm killing
Okay,
Keith
because
Olbermann.
DeGrom was pitching. Okay.
Yeah, and I can't even get the name of the pitcher right. So my apologies.
Syndergaard that was on there.
Yes, it was. Unbelievable, man. Letting it breathe. Shut up, Keith Olbermann.
So do you put that on Olbermann, or do you put that on Syndergaard?
Oh, no, all on Olbermann. He's the guy leading it. You're leading the broadcast. You are the play-by-play. You need to take the reins and drive around Noah Syndergaard, let him know, lead him into speaking. You're sitting there not saying anything, Keith. What are you doing? What are you doing? Syndergaard's not going to talk out of turn. Got to lead him. I can't believe I'm telling you. Keith Olbermann's been doing broadcasting for 35 years. Why do I have to tell him this?
So when you look at Keith Olbermann and you compare him to some of the great sportscasters on ESPN, does he make the top 10?
Here's the thing, is if you're talking about in his time, before he left for MSNBC,
Yeah.
absolutely. Anytime after that,
He
no.
was with Dan Patrick, right?
Yeah, that was a great duo.
I thought they were fantastic
Yes.
together. So what has happened? Does he need Dan Patrick, or has Keith Olbermann gotten either too old that he's past his prime, or does he think he's a lot more clever now than what he really is? He seems like
yeah.
he's got a different take after doing the MSNBC thing.
Yes, I think he's still in like MSNBC mode, and he's also he's an in front of the camera commentator guy. He's not a play-by-play guy. That's the thing. You're not. Boog Sciambi can go up there and do a game like that and be a little silly because that's his gimmick. But he also knows when to get serious and call the game. He's a play-by-play guy. Keith Olbermann is not a play-by-play guy. He's in front of the camera. He's going to commentate and just say stupid things. It's like when they had Dennis Miller on Monday Night Football all those years ago and it didn't work.
Right.
It's something. Some mixes just don't work.
Something has happened. Olbermann used to be good. He's just not now. Or maybe play-by-play's not his thing. We knew him on SportsCenter. He's just a lot better on SportsCenter.
I think that's what it is. I think it's really just play-by-play. Let him do his SportsCenter thing. That's where he can have his funny commentary in between the highlights.
His shtick works better there than it does on play-by-play. Did you hear they're going to be doing a prequel to The Sandlot? It's going to be The Sandlot 2.
Yeah, how are they doing this?
I don't know, because it's going to be a different cast. It seems like that's just one of those movies, like, don't touch it.
Yeah.
So what is a prequel going to be, and how's that even tie into the original Sandlot? It doesn't seem to make any sense to me.
I'm just out of sheer curiosity. I want to see this because they're all kids. So how are you going to do a prequel?
You can't. What are they going to do? Go back to when they're babies?
Right, that's what I'm saying.
Doesn't make any
It
sense.
doesn't make any sense at all.
Well, if you watch the original Sandlot, basically the whole premise of it is they've got an autographed Babe Ruth baseball that they're trying to get back.
Right.
That's what goes down. And that actually, an autographed Babe Ruth baseball was the previous record holder for an autographed baseball. So I guess you get the reason why in the Sandlot trying to get that ball back, because you're like, oh, no, it's an autographed ball. How much? What can it be worth? Mm-hmm. In 2014, there was a Babe Ruth autographed ball that sold for $388,375.
Pretty good.
That's
take that.
Unbelievable. I never would have imagined an autographed Babe Ruth ball would go for that much. And that was the previous record, except for now. There's one that just doubled it.
Doubled it.
An autographed non-game used baseball. It has the signatures of 11 of the first Baseball Hall of Famers.
Wow.
You're talking Babe Ruth, it's on there.
Okay.
It's got Honus Wagner, Ty Cobb, Cy Young.
Oh, the Cy Young. Okay.
Yeah, Walter Johnson, Connie Mack,
Wow.
Grover Cleveland Alexander. Just some of the names, and some of the other ones you're not going to be like, who, what?
Right. Not the president, the baseball player.
Yeah,
Okay.
but still. These guys were among the 25 guys included to the Hall of Fame in his first 4 years from 1936 to 39.
That's incredible.
Yeah.
That's
so
incredible.
Pretty impressive stuff, yeah.
Man.
This ball went for $632,369.
A baseball.
An autographed baseball.
Wow.
That's crazy, isn't it?
I mean, every time I hear a story like this, I just think about how my dad told me that when he was a kid, he would have these baseballs signed by like Mickey Mantle and guys like that, and they would just play with them and throw them around and get them all muddy and dirty, and they're just gone. They're gone. They don't exist anymore.
Well, what's crazy is I don't know what changed with this. This ball in 1997, just like 20 years ago, sold for $55,000. Now it's sold for $632,000.
It increased almost by $600,000.
That's crazy.
It's just, man, as the years go on, these names, they become more and more kind of in the lore, you know?
Yeah.
Mysterious almost.
Why is that up in my baseball cards that in the 80s were worth about 3 times what they are today? They've actually depreciated in value.
Yeah, what happened with that?
I don't know. What happened to baseball cards? I thought it was going to be my retirement. I used to buy like the tops, the whole set. I'm like, going, one day my kids are going to retire on this. It's worth like a quarter the value of what I paid for it then.
I don't know what happened. It's very annoying. I did the same thing with football cards growing up. I had John Elway and Dan Marino and all these cards.
One day.
Nothing.
Held on to them. They're not worth crap now.
Maybe my Pokemon cards when I was a kid, I'll have better luck with that. We'll see.
Maybe.
It's a shame.
Probably not, though. You're going to make your bread and butter off radio, baby.
Yeah, right.
That's how you're going to get rich, Diener.
Long and steady road
radio
for that one.
Career, man. Hey, you can check out the podcast of Kevin's Other Show. Just look to any podcast app. It's right there. We're also on YouTube, and you can find us on Twitter at Kevin's Other Show.
You listened to him on the KVJ show for years. Every time he tried to talk sports, he'd get shut down. After years of begging, we finally gave in. Brought to you by Wellington Anti-Aging. Low T? Go to WellingtonAntiAging.com. And by Bremen Motor Cars in West Palm Beach. A world-class experience. Shop BremenPorsche.com now. It's Kevin's Other Show on 640 The Hurricane.